Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your dungeon master for the Chapter 1 finale of Vecna, Eve of Ruin. We've got CJ, Andrew, Dasha, Randall, and Michelle back to reprise their iconic roles from their uh, the many series here on the channel. How's it going, everybody?
Ooh.
Going
Pretty
great.
good.
Going
Great.
all
Bit,
right.
Excellent.
bittersweet because I know it's our last Vecna game all together.
For now.
For now.
For
For now.
now.
True.
For now. But you're right. Who knows what's going to happen between now and, I don't know, 10 months from now? Who knows where everybody's going to end up being? You know, that's the joy of D&D. You never know. But what I do know is that tonight is going to be an exciting finale. And what would an exciting finale be without a lot of introductions and promotions and chatting and doing all these different things? So it's Halloween season, as you can tell. Vecna's maybe getting a little spooky. We got the pumpkin out. I actually posted about this on social media. Root beer from a company called Dead World. Zombie soda. This is the root beer creeper edition. I actually went to a soda shop. Isn't that weird? They still have those some places. A soda
there-
shop. Yeah.
Was there a soda jerk?
Other than me?
Yeah, other than you. Was there like a soda jerk there?
Well, no, I wouldn't say so. No.
Oh,
There was a counter and like all that stuff, but I think most of it
It
was
wasn't
for
a guy
show.
operating the
No.
drafts. Oh.
No, unfortunately, mostly bottles, but it was really cool because I got to make my own 6 pack. I brought it home. This is the fifth of six. So tried already a couple of other ones. I had a ginger beer, had a Dr. Pepper style pepper, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde like Dr. Pepper. That was pretty good. And now I'm onto the creeper here, so we'll see. I'll give you my review at the end of the night. I got to see how it feels from the start to finish. I can't really give you a full review till it's done. But my question to you tonight is: I love Halloween. I love holidays. I love getting into the spirit of the holiday. And so my question to you is: what do you love about Halloween? And I'll go. Like I said, getting into the spirit of things. I love decorating. I love decorations. I love that we got a giant skeleton this year, like one that's like I think he's like 12 feet tall or something like that. He's huge on the front lawn, and he hasn't fallen down just yet. So that's a bonus. What about the rest of you? What do you love about Halloween?
Who's going first?
You, Andrew.
All right. Well, with Halloween comes the fall season, and it is my favorite season because we have football going on.
Really?
We've got Halloween going on. We've got
Hmm.
the leaves, pumpkin picking, apple picking.
You like all
All
this?
that. Oh, I love it. This is my
Wow.
time of year.
Leaves.
It's my birthday
Right.
time of year. Everything
When's your birthday?
in November.
It's
So
coming.
everything about this time of year is fantastic, and of course, the candy and the trick or treating on Halloween day.
Fair enough. Gotta love that. What about the rest of you?
Oh, I love. Okay, my favorite thing is dressing up for Halloween. That is super fun. I really enjoy, doing really grotesque makeup,
Really?
and yeah, I used to do it a lot
I thought
better,
that was
but
just an everyday occurrence.
no, this is
Okay.
actually, this is not the makeup. The makeup gets
Oh,
even weirder.
wow.
That
I
explains it.
know. Yeah, it does. Thank you.
That's a commitment.
It's a commitment to really going out there and showing off some just the like I had one year I had like the fake like my eye like missing eye makeup one year. One year I did this thing. I had like a skull, like my whole face was like made up with like latex prosthetics to look like a skull, right? And then I had a hoodie that like zipped up and was like the skeleton face. And so I would walk around and then I would take the hoodie down and then it was just another skull underneath. And it was like so much fun.
CJ, we need some
And
photos of
it
this, I
was,
think, in
yeah, I
Discord.
don't know if I have any photos. This was years ago. This was like
All
maybe
right.
over 10 years ago.
Well, if you have
But
anything cool, I think
I'll
Discord's a
have
great
to
place
look
for
for it.
this. Great place for this.
Yeah. And also, uh, so dressing up, I'm gonna steal some. Well, I'll let other people go, and then I'll go over the other parts because I might steal their other answers.
Okay,
Yeah, I
fair enough.
actually I had something like adjacent to CJ's answer, so I'm just gonna slide in there real quick before
it.
everyone says everything and I have nothing left. So basically, like I was gonna say that I really love seeing people who have the capacity to do like the amazing next level costume work, whether it's like Halloween costumes or cosplay for conventions or like, I don't know, the super committed LARPers, like people who go above and beyond with their costumes and they like craft things with their own hands. You know, they put like prosthetics on to make like appendages and things. I love seeing that. I think it's so artful and incredible. And like, I'll just, I just love seeing people do that. I think it's really, really beautiful.
It's an art form,
So
really.
it is
Yeah,
totally. So
for
respect,
sure.
CJ. I would love to see those pictures if you find them.
Oh, that's a look.
CJ's gonna find him. He's gonna
I'm
find
gonna
him.
find them. I have some somewhere.
We'll see. Randall, what about you?
So,
love?
my answer's a little weird. So, fun fact: Halloween is
Settle in,
actually
everybody. Here we go.
Halloween is actually my birthday.
Uh,
So
Every year? Just kidding.
most of the time, all of the ones I've had so far, I can't say with certainty for the future, but I'm not a huge birthday person. So like I've always favored more like smaller things. And I also live in New York City, where if you step outside on Halloween night, it's what's the word? Oh, awful. Awful. Yeah. Like there's fun things you can do. And like there's a ton of fun stuff, but like being just out on the street in New York on Halloween is truly awful, at least to
It's
me.
tough.
Some people might really enjoy it. It's not for me. But I do really enjoy like the like seeing other people's costumes, but it's changed from when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, it was just like candy and cake. I can have both on the same day. That's amazing.
Cake?
Well, yeah, because it was my birthday.
Right, yeah. I was like,
But
cake.
now that I do a lot of D&D, it's getting the opportunity to scare the bejesus out of people by running a bunch of scary games.
Oh, look at this
and,
tying it in with D&D. I love it.
I've really loved like steering into doing like spooky games. I ran well. It wasn't very spooky last night. It was the intro to a spooky one last night. But I'm actually oddly enough running the Don't Say Vecna one shot
The one we did
this week.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm running that later this week, and I have a couple others that I do. I like doing those spooky games and like making like fun, scary kinds of games for the Halloween season.
That's nice.
So
I like that.
That's definitely my favorite now.
That's cool. I like that. How it's changed over the years. And I do love Halloween and spooky games for sure. I totally get you there. All right, Dasha.
I feel like my answer is going to be very on brand for me as an
Oh.
individual, especially if you heard my answer last week about a planner. I really like the planning and the build up and the anticipation for Halloween. I feel like I haven't really gone as hard on Halloween recently as I used to when I was in like middle school and high school, but always, I think from like maybe sixth grade to senior year.
So the last
months
couple of
leading
years have
up,
been a little different for you. Yeah.
just a little different. Just like adult responsibilities. And unfortunately, we live in an apartment complex with like little to no kids, so there's not a lot going on around us. But I would go hard on like planning my costume. Who am I dressing up with? Are we doing a group thing? Are we doing a duo, a trio? Finding the costume or finding the parts to make the costume.
A lot of planning.
A lot of planning, and then planning for when I'm going to have all my friends over before we go out to trick or treat. So like, what candy am I going to have at home? What pizza am I going to order for everyone? And what's going to happen after? Like, are we having a sleepover? Is it hopefully a weekend?
You planned
where we
all
can do
this?
that?
Didn't you have parents to do all this for you?
My parents were like, they were meh on Halloween. I think now they actually do more. when
Wow.
my sister and I were younger, they'll actually like dress up and like sit outside in their little like, not that they don't live in a cul-de-sac anymore, but like their little area. They'll pass
We're
out
talking
candy.
Ohio, right?
We're talking Ohio, yeah.
Ohio,
But I would
okay.
plan all of this. I would have lists either on paper or in my head, and yeah, I have good Halloween memories.
Excellent. I love that. And I just love that we all just said 5 things we love about, or I guess 6 things, including me, I think we love about Halloween. And you know what? I think we all can probably say 6 great things we love about Vecna, Eve of Ruin. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I was
We're not
gonna
going to
say
do it though, but
I missed out on candy. Variety packs are awesome in for Halloween because then you can get all of the candies all at once. And number 2, haunted hayrides and haunted houses are also super fun. I am a
Ooh.
coward when it comes to scary movies, but haunted houses and haunted hayrides, I just like stroll through those like it's nothing. And it's
so
just
hold
everyone else
on.
is like a coward.
Hold
and
on a second,
running.
CJ.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yep.
So if it's fake and it's on a TV screen,
Yeah,
you're
I
out.
can't do it.
If it's literally in front of you and,
Yep.
and death is staring you in the face, you're okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, got it. That kind of checks out, I think, with CJ.
You might be going to
Yeah.
different haunted houses than CJ is if death is staring you in the face.
That's the other thing is like I know these guys can't touch me.
Actually, you're right. If they do, it'd be great. Lawsuit right away. It'd be so good.
God.
Could be the best thing that happened. Anyway, let's talk about Vecna, Eve of Ruin, because today is the finale of chapter 1. I keep saying finale because I'm just like the word. I like to throw that word around here on the channel. Today is the finale of chapter 1, which means next week we're going to have an all new cast. And you're going to want to stay tuned for exactly what's going on next week because you're not going to want to miss the start of every chapter. So I feel like, you know, different than another type of campaign, you don't want to miss the beginnings of the new chapter because you can catch up. But once something has been revealed, you know, if you're on Discord with us, if you're on social media, you will see posts. So try to keep up to date with the chapters, especially the starts. You know, you can go back and watch an episode or 2 later to catch up, but try to keep up with when we start a new chapter because, like I said, the new casts are going to be coming. There are like 10 chapters in this book, so it's a lot. And, you know, the final 2 chapters are all kind of like craziness happening. So I can guarantee you're not going to want to miss it. Did I miss
Does
something?
it look like I have like an infinite number of cats?
Yeah,
that I'm moving?
it looks like you're caught in a time loop, CJ.
I missed it.
I have an infinite number of cats that I've been.
It's the same motion over and over.
Oh, now I got to go back.
Yeah, to go back because it just looks like I have an infinite number of cats over here that I keep putting over there.
Yeah, it was really great because it was like one of those like network TV things where there's like the main scene happening, but there's also something happening in the background that fully takes your attention.
I'm looking at it
That
now.
was what was going on with CJ's frame.
I just rewound the tape. It's
That's,
just one.
that's what
cat,
I was
correct?
watching.
Yeah. Too funny. All right. So last time we played, we're jumping in, right? Ready to jump in?
Let's go.
All right. Here we
What
go.
were we? What were we doing? We were in a crypt, and we stopped the ceremony. They were
It's a
like
good
doing
guess.
something, and we were like, we're gonna stop them. And heroic Quentin saved
Heroic
the day.
Quentin.
Stopped, and we're all safe and fine now.
What CJ just said. In other words, the group stopped a cult ritual, and after the cult ritual was ended, the cult leader, the chanter, was killed. Everything changed.
Dominated.
Everything changed. Oh yeah, that's right. You dominated them. Once they stopped chanting, the cult, that ritual ended, and everything changed. You are no longer in Neverwinter. In fact, you're really no longer on the material plane. You have been transported to a place called Evernight, which is sort of like the Stranger Things, coining that term, upside down version of Neverwinter. Everything is dark and fiery, and I don't know how it's dark and fiery at the same time, but it is. I showed you the artwork. It's dark and fiery, and everything looks like it is, like I said, the more the undead or upside down version of Neverwinter. So basically, you are no longer on the material plane. You are not in Kansas anymore, and now you got to figure out where you are. However, you did save a few people. You saved Indrina, who was, I believe, Eroviel's original bounty, and you saved Eldon Keyword, friend and cousin to our best friend to Elf and Man, Edmund Brycene. Did I just spoil your intro?
No.
Good.
He's gonna do it 8
I'm
times no matter
Still
what.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
So that's where we left off. You were transported to this cemetery. You rose from graves, from the ground, and now you all see each other and you don't know what you're going to do next. And that's where we're going to pick up. I will leave us off of Roll20 for now. I think it's just better to keep us here on the big screen. And we'll go to Roll20 when necessary. But you may discuss, because we didn't have a chance to describe what we saw as we traveled from the material plane here to Evernight. And that was scary scenes, your friends, but then eventually this creepy sort of lich creature, this undead creature that looked right at you. So you may discuss.
And also,
So-
if I recall correctly, Iroviel saw Dobby.
That's what I was gonna say. Is as all those friends were flashing by, grouped together with all of the Avernus friends she remembers, this Dobby appeared there. So as soon as Iroviel climbs out of the little dirt grave she was in, she's just staring at this Dobby, just staring him down, not saying anything, like shocked a little bit.
Probably while Iroviel is staring silently, Bear has, hustled over to Dobby and is dusting him off and checking for wounds and kind of straightening his clothes, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, as I'm climbing out all dirty and pushing my way out of this coffin, I'm kind of cursing, muttering under my breath of being thrown about in such a way. Just kind of looking around, taking in my surroundings, not really paying attention to anyone other than Bear by my side, obviously. Just looking, taking it in, analyzing the situation.
Are the curses you said, is that like the same like tone of cursing you would have used back in Avernus? The same types of words? How much has this cursing evolved over the years?
Oh yeah, no.
I feel like Dobby's a guy that says
Dobby's
poppycock.
way of words
Am I right?
have been the same for 100 years.
I feel like he's a guy that says poppycock.
I disagree.
You can't say that on the internet, Bob.
Balderdash.
Balderdash.
Dash.
These
Hearing-
are the curses.
That's more of a what in tarnation kind of. That's more Dobby. What in tarnation did we just go through?
So hearing all sorts of flashbacks happening right now.
Rabbit.
Hearing the familiar curses, having seen Dobby with the Avernus friends, and also like just having gone through a very similar experience of like being dropped in a new kind of world or realm, she's gonna just like quickly stand up as quick as she can from getting up from the grave, walk over to Dobby, grab him like by the scruff, and just look him in the eye and say, "Are you not telling me something?"
I look astounded by being manhandled by Aroviel. Aroviel, put
Not
me
the first
down.
time.
What are you doing? Don't you see what's around us? Now's not the time for your nonsense.
Bear's
I
trying to get in between them, going like, hey, back up. But since Bear's like, 2.5 feet tall, basically he's just flailing between them, not having any effect on what Iroviel's up to,
Just hitting their knees.
basically.
In response to what he said, she's going to continue holding him by like his like, collar. "Oh, I see what's around us, but I'm starting to see what's right in front of me."
I scoff. Same old Aroviel. Some things never change.
Oh!
Oh, she's going to let go, slap him, and walk away. She is pissed.
Oh.
Ouch!
Eldon.
What was
She
that?
walks away and like she like kicks a rock. She's like so mad that like that he didn't tell her to lied to her, and also like the fact that she didn't realize earlier. She's mad at everyone right now. Now she's cursing over in a corner by herself.
What are some of your curses?
Edmund, Edmund,
Unspeakable words.
Edmund will walk up to Dobby and kind of put a hand on his shoulder and say, "I too once met a former lover while I was on an adventure. It went about exactly the same as it did with you. I feel that we have a shared kinship together now, and I'm there for you if you ever need it, friend."
I don't know what you're talking about, Edmund, but I appreciate your support.
Quentin walks over,
It is
puts a
always
hand
tough.
on his shoulder. No, running into your former lover at a graveyard, covered in dirt, surrounded by strangers. I've been there. And just want to let you know you're not alone.
No,
And-
I think you guys have this all wrong. We are
Well-
not former lovers.
No, we're definitely in a graveyard.
Yes,
And
that is
the
true.
way that she slapped you, it was very reminiscent of the way I was slapped.
Oh, yes, that was a lover slap.
That was
a
definitely-
lover's slap. It's a coined type of slap in the Feywild.
Iroviel is glaring at you both very angrily right now. She is reaching for her bow and arrow. And
Ooh.
All right,
Ooh.
all right.
Oh,
You don't
well,
need to be hasty.
Clearly, there is more to this story than we initially thought, but we'll probably get to that. Did you notice where we are? And,
That's
we
what
should
I've been
probably-
trying to say.
And your cousin, Eldon Keyword, at this point will chime in. He's
Oh.
very meek. You've known Eldon. I mean, you've maybe met him a few times in your past. I don't know how close you are. I think you said something along the lines of he's like your eighth cousin, twice removed, sisters,
Elves are
mothers.
long-lived. It's very...
Yeah,
There's
Right.
big family trees with lots of...
exactly. So he comes in, chimes in, and he says something to the extent of like, now, we must not, get angry at each other. We have to work together to get out of here. If I'm not incorrect, and looking around, he like scans the skies and sees the fires burning. If I'm not correct, we should be at yes, Evernight. It's a mirror realm to Everwinter. So all we need to do is find one of the crevices. Yes, one of the crevices, and we should be out of here soon. I wish I had my books.
Who are you?
Eldin Keyword at your service, friend to all. Wink.
This is my cousin, Eldon Keyword. Remember?
No, I
was on
got that. I definitely
were-
got. Yes, I can hear the family resemblance.
The keyword search we were on.
Yes. All right, Eldon. I want to ask, though, how much time has elapsed since we got out of that? Since we were teleported out of there.
Well, that's quite hard to tell. Your
Oh,
accent
sorry,
faded
yes.
there.
How much time has elapsed?
Your accent seemed to fade. It's quite interesting. You see, time may work differently in this realm, much differently than on the material plane. In fact, we
So-
could have been gone for thousands of years so far.
I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to hear it very clearly and know it. Shut up.
Shutting up.
That has not happened. And then, but question for Bob. Can I still feel concentration on my dominate person spell, or has that faded?
It's definitely faded because
Definitely faded. Okay.
your trip through that like spanning the multiverse basically has you lost concentration.
Would have
during
like
that. Yeah.
incapacitated me. Gotcha.
Essentially,
okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure because
Yeah.
if I had that control, I would have definitely. But I just wanted to make sure. That's
Yeah,
not
so
enough.
you wouldn't be able to use it as a timer, basically. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right. So you said we need to find a crevice. What type of a crevice could be a gigantic? It's entirely based on perspective and scale.
Oh,
How
How
silly.
big of a
crevasse.
crevice are we looking for?
Am I allowed to speak?
Well, you've already started, so continue.
Apologies. A crevice of dusk. It's not a literal crevice, but rather one of a metaphorical state. A portal.
What does it
a rift.
literally look like?
They all look quite different, actually.
Fuck me.
Have I mentioned that I am a planar expert? Edmund hasn't told you?
I was about to tell them that this is my cousin, Eldon Keyword. He is a master of knowledge on all things multiversal travel. Cat bit me.
Did Aunt Edna tell you about my new book?
No, she didn't. You are now a newly published. I know you've written so many other books about the multiverse.
Yes,
Not
it's
this
called
many.
World Spanner by Eldon Keyword.
World Spanner. Fantastic to know. When did this come out?
Oh, about 40 years ago.
Oh, recently then.
Yes.
All right, so that crevice,
Crevasse.
Yes, speak plainly, please.
crevasse,
what to look
crevice, whatever. Apparently, it's all metaphorical, so the linguistics don't
literal.
really matter very much.
He said it was literal. It just
Un-
looks like a different thing every time.
No, he
No,
said
it
it was.
is-
He said it was metaphorical.
It is metaphorical, cousin, and I know this isn't your expertise,
Oh.
but
Sorry.
It's
I thought
okay.
it was...
no, it's
Would I be,
metaphorical.
would I be familiar with these riffs?
You can give me an Arcana check, yeah.
Oh, an Arcana check.
You may
Was
be a
it- I
friend
wasn't-
to Elfin Man, but you don't listen to a damn thing.
How much do you
Oh,
think Dobby knows about? Actually,
Not
he
a
does
lot.
know a lot about extraplanar travel. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I rolled an 11.
Okay. You would assume that this might be similar to how one goes into the Shadowfell, maybe how how the mists even capture people into Barovia, that sort of thing.
Would I know how to find one or locate one or sense one?
Usually, the crevices from one world to another, even though you might not know this, particularly, Eldin will say crevices are usually close to one another from the same plane. Almost like how a road would go to and from.
So we need to go back to the crypt.
Not necessarily. Perhaps within the vicinity. Maybe asking around with some of the locals would be a good idea.
Locals? So wait, this is a
This-
populated place.
I'm sure it
People
is.
live
If
here.
I'm not mistaken, this is Evernight, a place of undeath.
And you want to ask the locals?
Well, yes.
The undead locals?
Not every undead is a flesh-eating ghoul that wants to devour you.
Name one.
A vampire?
He kind of has a point. They don't want to eat you. They just want
Right.
to drain you of your life force. He's
They
quite
quite
right.
Exactly.
literally want to eat you. Just because they don't
Just
want to
drain
eat
your
your
life
flesh
force
doesn't. Your
and-
blood is still you. Let's be
You're
clear
telling me you
here.
chew your beverages?
What? That is the cement. All right, fuck this, and just starts walking in a random direction.
And Eldin's like, good choice. Let's go that way. And he starts to follow you.
Can I do I don't know if it's like a nature check or perception check just to see what I might glean about the environment around us?
Sure, and I will go to Roll20 real quick just to, again, review the... I have the picture, the artwork. This is kind of like what it looks like. It looks like a hellish landscape of Neverwinter. But nothing looks too... like difficult to traverse. Like I see there's like a river of lava in the artwork, and it does say that there's fiery brimstone sort of feel to it, but it does have the similar layout to Neverwinter, almost like building for building. So you can travel, and you get out of the Neverdeath graveyard eventually, Quentin, and Eldin strides right up alongside you, and he starts talking about extraplanar travel and all of his research. And eventually, you come to what looks like a more populated area. Your instinct is to hide because you're worried about undead. However, this is rather interesting to you. You can see that it looks like there are tattered tents, stalls, market stalls, and it stretches for blocks in every direction. This is kind of like the Neverwinter main street market. And here, yet again, like I said, in a sort of mirrored way, you see numerous stalls, the feeble moonlight trying to flicker through, but the fires keep everything illuminated anyway, kind of almost regardless of the time of day. You can see that the market's inhabitants are a bunch of deadbeats, plainly. You can see all the clientele. They are, looks like maybe some zombies, but you also see people moving with much more regular strides, and they look more like humans. Yeah, you can see quite a few people here. It's lively. Skeletons, ghouls, even maybe vampires. You notice drinking blood from goblets, giving each other nice cheers with their root beer creepers. See?
Just because it's in a cup doesn't mean it wasn't from someone's vein.
It's true.
Could have been from an animal. They could
Could
be
have been.
humane about it. I've read stories about vegetarian vampires before. It's a story
Oh,
about a dusk-like nighttime area, almost a twilight, even.
Right. Speaking of crap productions that should never have been made, Indrina. Is Indrina here? Because I think she was with us when we left.
Oh, she's there. She's just been silent. She's
Okay.
honestly probably scared out of her mind. She's sticking very close, probably to Eroviel and Edmund. The two of you seem to be. She's taken a liking to, and she hasn't said much. Just every turn, she's like kind of like worried about creatures popping out, and in the graveyard especially, she kept super close to the two of you.
As we walk, I'll eventually follow the direction that Quentin and Eldon are going, and if she's by my side, I'll kind of say to her, stick with me, and you'll be safe, but I need you to tell me more about Lord Neverember.
Oh, yes, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what's come over me. I'm just so frightened. I don't want to go back either, but this place is a hellscape.
We'll get out of here. I've been in worse. But I need you to tell me what you know. You said the Lord is not the true heir. What do you know of this, and how did you find this information?
She says, perhaps we get out of here first. I promise you, when we get back to Neverwinter, I'll tell you everything. I have paperwork to prove it.
Later, then.
I documented it all. And if anything were to happen to me, I'll leave it with you.
Thank you. Now,
And she'll-
stick by me, and we will try our best to get you out of here safely.
Yeah, and as you say that, she looks up and she sees the sight, these clientele at this like corpse market. You see people walk around. Nobody seems to, I mean, not that they don't notice you, but they don't seem to mind you being there. You walk by and you see all the, like I said, ghouls, skeletons, vampires. They kind of watch as you walk along as a group. They, once you pass, you can see them maybe whispering to one another, but then going back to their sales or whatever they're buying. And then you can really see exactly what's for sale at this market. You can see stalls intended for consumption. You can see fingers pickled in brine, jars of blood, wrapped organs. Some shops sell bouquets of dead flowers, frayed burial finery. Some jewelers display jewels and rings and such on severed hands, elegant canopic jars, and the like.
I just
You
look
see,
at Edmund and point to the jars of severed fingers. Do you think those were donated?
I don't know. There's really no way to tell unless you want to ask.
Well,
Excuse me, friend.
oh, fuck.
Sir.
It's a woman.
This, ma'am. I'm sorry. The pallid look of your face. It was very difficult for me to tell. From
What a way to start.
greetings. I am Edmund Brycine, friend to elf and man. Wink.
Don't think they're either.
And I am Sangora, proprietor of Sangora Sanguinaries, at your service. And she smiles, and you can see her vampiric teeth, those long canines coming down.
My friend here was just questioning where it is that you gain your bountiful harvests of such fine victuals.
She'll pass you a goblet. It's filled with warm blood. And she says, perhaps you can taste and find out for yourself.
Oh, this looks delicious. I've been trying to cut back, you know. It's not something that I've been really got a taste for.
Quentin
these
immediately
days.
comes over and just kind of claps you in the back. Come on, that's nonsense. Treat yourself, Edmund. How long has it been? I know all of the times that we have been out drinking side by side, enjoying ourselves. I can't remember how many times you would be deep in those crimson cups. And, you know, I hate to say it, I never wanted to tell you, that's your best self. I think you should indulge.
And for you as well, she hands Quentin a cup.
Thank you very much.
We should be drinking together.
Of course.
Of course. Salute to you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Quentin.
I take a sip. I'm a former diplomat. I go into someone's home, they offer me a drink. Doesn't matter what it is, I'm drinking it.
She gives you a nice cup of blood out of her tabletop Bob shot glass or scotch glass.
Well branded.
And yeah, you drink it. I mean, it's pretty gross. I mean, you can decide how you roleplay this, but have you drank a lot of blood before?
I feel like I'm not. My strategy is like literally Quentin has gone into so many people's like homes or like courts and just like
drank
been
their blood.
Offered like a drink or like teas and like things of different cultures that he has no idea what he's eating or drinking when he goes there, and just has to like be like, it's just tea, it's just tea, it's just tea.
And you just keep saying it's just blood. It
doesn't matter. No, just it's always tea. It's just like it's thick. It's thick, kind of irony tea. It's just tea. It's just tea.
There's a lot of irony here. That's for sure. So you taste it. Extra iron in it.
Yeah, I mean, law of hospitality, right? Not gonna.
That's right. Accept the gift.
I accept the gift.
And she does, or you do, and Edmund, do you?
Well, once Edmund sees that Quentin is doing it with zero fear, he'll partake as well, just taking a very small sip, but because he can't get over the fact that it's just a cup of blood. I'm sure he's probably had, blood pudding or some other like
not the same
thing,
haggis,
whatever the
knucklehead trout.
Yeah, knucklehead trout. Whatever the equivalent of something like that in the Forgotten Realms is like. I'm sure that they've got cuisine similar to that, all over the place. So he's probably trying real hard to not just drink straight blood on most occasions. But he's probably, well, if Quentin's going to do it, I can't disappoint. Wonderful. That was. It's quite good. Wouldn't you say, Quentin?
I would. What is the vintage on that?
She says, I didn't expect people like you to be interested in a warm cup of blood, but she says, I'm glad you enjoy it. Merchants bring fresh human blood from the material plane regularly, so don't worry. It's fresh.
Interesting.
It's fresh. Yeah.
Now, a question of curiosity, because I've been in many courts, some vampiric and some not. I've heard, I don't know how the truth to it, but I've heard that there is there's a value in some of the state of the donor. Would you say that this was given or taken? I know that there can be a different sort of flavor palette or profile to it when there's
all of Sangora's sanguinary blood is grass-fed, free range, wild organic.
Interesting. You feed the people grass.
Grass-fed.
Very interesting.
Enriches the blood. Now, for the rest of you, can I offer you a cup? Bear and Dobby, she's pointing to you, and Aroviel, I guess. Since Indrina is pretty terrified, she doesn't go near it.
Yeah, when the two started drinking the blood, I really covered Indrina's eyes. You don't need to see this.
I say, oh no, thank you so much. But I am curious about these merchants coming from the material plane.
Would you care to have some work? Is that what you're asking?
Uh,
Or are you a merchant?
I'm asking for a friend who's a merchant.
Yes. There's not even need for a deception check there. She's like, okay.
I apologize.
Sure.
I apologize. My good friend here may be. I assume you're talking about me. You don't have to be coy about it. It's all right. I'm willing to let people know I'm a merchant. We try to keep it on the down low. Sometimes people, when we go into different places, we're not used to telling people that we're merchants. It puts a target on your back.
Yeah,
Eldon's-
bandits
Of course,
and all.
that was my plan the whole time.
Eldon's like, we're not merchants.
Fear of bandits.
You're not a merchant. Eldon, I've told you this 100 times. Just because you travel with the caravan, yes, that doesn't make you a merchant, but that doesn't make the merchants not merchants.
Anyway, we're looking for a crevice of dusk. Do you know where that is? And the Sangora says, "Oh, you prefer directions. Ah, something more ephemeral. I like it. I've been in the city a long time. I can take you to the nearest one.
That would be lovely.
The only thing is that the merchants don't travel that way.
How do they travel?
Yes, this is our first time here.
They travel crevices far from here only because the closest one has been blocked for a long time. But it is the closest.
Blocked by what or whom?
The Dolendars, of course.
Dolendars.
Yes, the Dolendars. Of course.
I see you're not from around here, and she's gonna start to walk around the stall at this point, and you can see her full form here. She's like the equivalent of, I would say, I don't know, 55 years old woman, and but now obviously turned into a vampire, so 55 could be 555. But she turns around out of her stall. You can see she's dressed in blues and reds. She has a brown cloak. She's actually wearing mostly like pretty wealthy clothes, and she strides towards you confidently, and she says, "I could take you there to the Dolendar tomb, but it's very dangerous. You see, Lady Dolendar, she's been at rest here, and I've heard she doesn't rest well."
What keeps her stirring?
You'll have to ask her yourself. She's a lonely type. She kind of keeps to herself. She lost her husband many years before ever being entombed herself. Some say she killed him.
What did she enjoy before she lost her husband?
I think seeing people suffer, mostly her children.
A common desire. Yes.
Are the Dolendars a prominent family here?
They were in Neverwinter, and now they reside here.
All of them?
Well, her and her children were entombed here. Her husband, I'm not quite sure where.
And I apologize for the ignorance. I know you've been using the term entombed, but speaking about her in the present tense, I'm assuming that she is one who steps from one side to the other of the veil. But is she walking about? Is she regular and present, or is she actively entombed?
All I know is that she stays within her tomb. She doesn't leave. But that's where the crevice is.
Do her children leave?
Oh no, they wouldn't dare defy Mother.
Interesting.
Come with me. And she like closes up her stall. She like covers a canvas over everything, and she says, "I've got time for a quick break."
Could I buy a enclosed pint of your finest blood?
I thought
A
you'd
to-go
never
cup?
ask. You take a cup? Yeah, to-go cup? Yeah.
I take like a jar. I'll genuinely buy it. Like I want to buy the highest quality that they
She's
have.
like,
You
oh
have money?
darn, I'm
Yeah.
out of jars.
Oh, actually, I don't have money. Oh shit, I don't have money. Ooh, ooh.
With
How
what
dare
money are
you,
you-
Dasha?
What money
She
are
says-
you planning on purchasing that with?
I think I think I would still say that and like just going off reflex and then like go for my pouch and
Don't worry, Quentin. I'll spot you this one.
I appreciate that. Like I said, we try not to carry too much
As-
money as when we are open about us being merchants.
She
you know,
says, how about
it's-
this? How about we trade? And she takes out a little vial, small vial, and she offers it to you.
I'm assuming that you would like mine.
Just a taste.
How about straight from the source?
She looks at you and she gets the idea of like, ooh, like I'm in for a treat tonight. And she'll grab your hand slowly, gently. Do you allow it?
I allow it.
Wow. She puts her face close to your forearm, looks at you before she does it, but then sinks those teeth right into the vein. And she'll take a drink. She's very mindful. She only said a taste. So she just takes that. She wipes her mouth with the back of her hand, and she says, fair trade. And then she'll take a jar with like a brain in it or something, just toss the brain, fill it up with blood, and then cap it off and give it to you.
Thank you very much. You were very courteous and gentle.
You're welcome back here anytime.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I may take you up on that offer.
Now follow me. And she'll start to walk
Anywhere.
down the street.
Dobby's standing in the back with his mouth open.
I
What
know.
incarnation just happened?
Dasha and Iroviel are bewildered.
Hey, we're in a weird place. We gotta do weird shit to get through it.
No, not to get bit by vampires.
That's funny. You know, honestly, she kind of looks like Blanche from Golden Girls. Like, I'm serious. Look at this.
Oh, do you have art for her?
Yeah, I can't find it in the thing, but like you could see it right here.
Oh, I get it.
Like she kind of looks like Blanche. Like no joke.
Yeah, she does a bit.
Yeah, but with a cup of blood instead of a drink. Anyway, you
Subtle
follow her.
differences.
Yeah, some good solid references. You
The
take
chat
her.
says, "Is this Vecna after dark?"
Yes.
Literally.
Wow, so true. Okay, so you get you go down the road. She heads to like an old abandoned chapel. This when you were in Neverwinter, this chapel actually would look like it was run down and abandoned. Nobody uses it anymore. There's much larger churches and churches of like Lathander and so on within the center. So nobody uses this old rundown church anymore. But you do see within the ruins that there's a stairwell, a spiral staircase that goes down. And she's kind of hopping over debris and kind of maneuvering between sort of like broken pieces of stone and wood. And then she sees the stairwell and she says, unfortunately, this is where your guide parts. I dare not go down here.
Why not?
Well, it's not quite safe, as I mentioned, and I only got just a taste. So.
I'm
She looks
surprised. You seemed quite daring.
Yes, but I know the Dolendars. Good luck, she says. She puts her cloak up and heads back towards the direction of the market stalls, at least. You see a spiral staircase that goes down. There is what looks like some sort of a stone pillar that's there, although it's broken off. There is a placard that is engraved with the word Dolendar above it, and you can see, like, it kind of would motion to this is where the tomb is down the steps.
All right. Shall we?
No time like the present.
Let's switch us over to roll 20.
I prefer the past.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bear will do his usual, take out his axe, kind of like heft it stand in front of Dobby and shuffle slowly forwards, um, while keeping his eyes peeled.
I'll
Fair
tell
enough.
Andrina and Eldon to stay up here.
Adrena has no problem with that, and Eldon will keep her company if you wish.
Have I noticed, just because I am quite linguistic, Quentin knows many languages, but also keeps an ear out for it. Have I noticed a common tongue other than common here?
Nope, they spoke common.
Mostly common. Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
So
all right.
you all see your characters?
I do.
Okay, great. So you find yourself in the Dolendar tomb. You go down the steps, and it's completely pitch black here, but I think we all established the only person who needs light is Quentin.
Yes. I'm the only one that cannot see.
Okay, what would you like to do for your light source?
Do any of you have light magic? No? No?
I've got
I
some.
do not.
I've got a torch if you'd like. Could also act as your weapon.
I don't particularly need one of those. I'll just continue to use the lantern then.
Okay. You light up your lantern, and you head down the steps. You enter into a hall. Upright slabs are set into the walls of this large burial chamber. Each slab is carved with a faded likeness of a different robed human. Above, you can see indecipherable writing. One of these slabs is blank, with a piece of paper stuck to it. And you can see that one is down here to the bottom right. This slab. No, this slab. These are doors. There are two doors to your left and to your right, i.e. the north and to the south.
And what do all the slabs that do you have the placard say?
The carved writing is indecipherable. It looks like it's been faded away over time.
And this one is the only one that doesn't.
Correct. It's got a piece of paper over it, but nothing worn on it. It's blank. Written on it, I mean, it's blank. However, when you get to the slab, you can see inside that little what'd you call it? That little slab, that little burial chamber there. It's open, and inside you can see. Oh, actually, sorry, there is something on the paper. I apologize. It is written on it. It says Newmy's room. Newmys. Newmy's room. Well, I guess the S is the possessive there. But either way, it's written in common, and you can see there's like a broom inside and like ragged clothing.
There's a broom. You said a broom inside?
A broom and ragged clothing.
Does the clothing look familiar to me?
No, just like peasants' clothes, essentially.
Okay.
And when you look into it, I see a couple of people have already moved towards it. A ghost flies into the room. Everybody needs to give me a Constitution saving throw. Oh, sorry, it's Wisdom. I apologize. Not Constitution. You can keep your save though. What are the roll of the dice?
Okay. Well,
Mine is the same.
mine's a 7 then.
Mine's 3 less, but it's still a 20.
Still a 20. The number you're looking for is 13 or higher. Did everybody get 13 or higher?
No.
Yes.
I did not.
Okay, and probably
16.
the only person it matters for is Randall, because Bear is pretty old already, or you have a lot of age to go, but you age 20 years.
What's with you and
Oh.
aging me?
Ghosts are the worst.
Randall, how old is Quentin?
Quentin is 35.
You're 55 now. Old
Are you
man
human
Quentin.
or elf? Human.
I'm human. I think we've talked about like my lifespan is a little weird
Mhm.
because I basically didn't even spend like a year of my life in the material plane. Like I've been in the Feywild my entire life.
Sure.
But so I imagine I probably aged probably closer to a half elf, but
Now you look like a 55-year-old human.
still, yeah, that's still a pretty big increase.
Bear, what about
um,
you? How old is Bear?
I don't know if I ever like actually determined a specific number for his age, but in my head, I just always thought of him as like an older gnome, like
Okay.
spry for his age, but still like an aged gnome.
Okay.
And 20 years for a dark gnome is, or a deep gnome is like nothing.
Right.
So yeah, he looks like maybe he aged like a week. He
Okay.
looks basically the same.
Basically the same. Not much of a difference. But you
He
aged
looks
20
over
years.
and he looks over
nonetheless.
at Quentin. He's like, "Oy, listen, I can.
Like the
I got some
hair-
skincare things you can try, like a clay mask. Don't worry, we'll talk after."
That like what happens to Quentin as he ages? Is it like a hair graying? Does he start going bald really fast?
Instantly bald.
Instantly, like the male pattern baldness.
No,
like,
I
really
imagine he's a
sets, like,
silver
the-
fox.
Yeah,
That's what
I honestly, I feel like Quentin would look better
He
older.
looks more attractive.
I feel like he would look better older. Yeah, he just is instantly George Clooney'd.
His voice is a little deeper, more gravelly.
Well then,
Hello there.
that was unexpected.
The ghost says, "I'm so sorry." Actually, I think I have a ghost voice here. Ready? Hello. It's my
Yeah, don't
voice.
worry.
that was
How
just your
about
voice.
this?
Oh, there
I'm
we go.
so sorry.
It's all right.
No, it's not all right. I've caused you great pain.
Well, most people who cause great pain know how to undo it. So
I'm
let's just
sorry.
talk.
I don't.
You don't know how it can be undone.
No.
Are you Numi? Are you Numi?
I am. I am Numi.
Ah. Hello, Numi. We've seen your room. Is it? Are you a caretaker here?
You're not
we
here to
noticed-
steal or plunder, are you?
Oh no, not of course. No, of course not here to steal or plunder. We're here simply to visit the Dolendars. We're travelers, and we've become a bit lost in this area, and we're just seeking a way to find our way home, back to where we came from. It seems we've found our way here by just accident, really.
You'll be happy to know, CJ, that Numi is actually looks like was once an elf.
Oh,
She stands just about 5 feet tall, not quite 5 feet tall. She has frizzy blue hair as of right now, and pale skin. You can see like blue veins shooting through her body. But
And I
you
am
know.
terribly sorry for not having introduced myself, Numi, but I am Edmund Brycene, friend to elf and man, along with my friends Quentin, Dobby, Bear, and Eroviel is here too.
So you're not here to grave rob and take my things?
Oh no, not
Of
at
course
all.
not.
Oh, good. Well, I'm really, again, sorry about your face.
We're all sorry about his face.
Yes. So, is that just something that happens?
I can't control it, no.
So, should you be staying near us? Is that going to happen again?
Well, now that you've seen me, usually people just accept it.
What about your visage causes people such fright?
After you say that, it kind of becomes apparent. Like you see, like her blue skin and the veins popping out. She looks like she is like a horrified version of herself now in this blue glowing aura. She does look pretty horrifying, haunting. Even.
I say it all the same.
You say it, and she says,
Well, I guess perhaps my appearance is scary to some. I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you?
Well, you can hopefully give us some information. We're here to find the Dolendars.
Oh, the Dolendars. I was hired by the Dolendars.
Hired
long
for
ago?
what?
Oh, several lifetimes ago I was hired.
And what exactly is your occupation for the Dolendars?
I'm their crypt cleaner.
that explains the broom.
Yes, you see, many lifetimes ago, Kaveta Dolendar, she's the matriarch. She hired me. She paid me so much money. It was so strange. No one's ever given me that much money in my life. Now I know why. I was paid to keep care of the crypt in the afterlife, too.
We've heard much about her and her crevasse, and Dobby here is looking to get into her crevasse. So.
Oh, the Dolendars. So sad. Tragic, really. All lonely, and there weren't too many of them.
What happened to them?
Well, they're all dead now.
Yes, but what happened after that?
And how did they die?
They just... I guess they're restless. They don't like to be down here. They aren't resting right. I'm quite afraid of them, if I'm going to be honest.
Where are they?
They're here, down in the burial nooks.
Could you show us the way there? Is
Oh,
it
I
dangerous
don't-
to travel there?
I'm not allowed to, really. I feel like I'd be breaking the rules.
Would it be dangerous for us to be on our way to head to that area?
Oh, very dangerous. You don't want to upset Kaveta. She will not take lightly to visitors. She doesn't like to be visited. Some have in the past, but
Is
still.
there a way you could guide us to the crevasse without bringing us to Kaveta, then?
The crevasse?
Yes.
What is that?
The tear between the planes.
I don't know anything about that, but I do know that there are puzzle buttons.
Puzzle buttons.
Mm-hmm.
What do these puzzle buttons do?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but other strangers who have come through here have said things like, press this one or press that one. I haven't really paid much attention. Some of the people weren't nice to me.
Well, would you be willing to not only pay attention, but maybe help us along our way? I don't hold anything against you for what happened, but I think it would be only right, given the course that this is exacted.
Well, I can tell you something that might help. Don't go to the north. That door leads to the Dolendar children. And they also, like their mother, don't like visitors. I would head down the south door.
Very
If we
well.
see them, will they have the same effect on us as you almost did for most of us?
Worse. They'll kill
So
you.
about 40 years, then?
They'll kill you for sure. Most people who come here, they don't make it back out.
When was the last visitor? How recent?
I don't really know. I'm not sure how much time passes down here.
Well, more for others, apparently.
We'll go south then.
Okay. Let's move on down. Is there anything you want to do before you go into the room?
Should we call Indira and Eldon to join us if this crevice is near and we need to go quickly? We may not have time to retrieve them.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Bobby, question.
Yeah.
So, given this aging, obviously this was a magical effect.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Greater Restoration spell.
You know that would probably cure it.
That would cure it. Okay. Would I know if that would be something that should happen sooner rather than later?
It doesn't really. You've probably encountered aging effects like this. It's not an issue. You can do it whenever you would choose.
Okay. So it's not going to make a difference if I do it now rather than tomorrow or the next day.
No.
Okay. All right,
actually,
then
have you encountered many ghosts before?
I Probably more in reading. I think I've probably encountered more hauntings than like I don't think I've had like face to face.
How about this though?
Ghosts,
Actually,
but-
you have a pair of the most excellent ghost hunters among you. Dobby, you certainly would know the answer to this. The agent can be reversed with a greater restoration spell within 24 hours.
All right.
Dobby would know.
But
Dobby,
Is that 24 hours material plane time or 24 hours where we currently are time?
You
It's
don't know
24
how
hours
time
passes
works
in
here.
minutes.
It's just
Oh.
24 hours, yeah.
or 24 hours for the body.
For the body, exactly.
Well, I don't know how much time has passed since we traveled. We woke up in coffins. It could have been days. I don't want to risk that. I'm going to cast Greater Restoration on myself.
Okay. You go back to 35 years old.
boo!
A young, spry 35. When you,
You look
suggest...
better.
Yes,
You
but
might
I
have
would
looked better.
like that extra
Yeah.
20 years with my wife. So
There you go. Indrina and Eldon come down. As you say, perhaps we're heading towards the south door, Numi sends a gust of wind and the door opens, and you see a staircase leading down. Move your tokens, and I'll describe to you what you see next. So below, you see a vault. It looks like there are 6 pedestals bearing treasure. We'll just go in order. I believe it goes in order from... There is an order to this, and I forget. It doesn't say it in the book exactly, but I think this one looks like gold or jewels, so we'll go there. So that one is 2,200 gold pieces in piles on the bottom pillar. You see one...
2200?
Yep, 2,200. 2,200 gold pieces stacked in piles. You see a golden helmet. You see a drift globe with a map of some sort of town carved on it. You also see a necklace with the inscription, "My breath is yours, Kavetta. Take it." You also see a book titled Out of the Endless Prison. And finally, a snow globe containing a miniature replica of the city of Neverwinter.
Touch
So-
nothing.
Agreed.
Eldon says, "Oh my, this book looks fascinating."
I
Touch
swat his hand
nothing.
away.
Ah, why? It's just a book.
A book that belongs to one of these angry ghosts.
Cousin, she hit me.
I'll hit you harder.
Oh,
Listen, it's best not to deal with them. Just
apologies,
Listen to them.
apologies,
I
apologies.
rubbed my cheek. Yes, she hits
Just-
quite hard.
it is.
Nothing burns worse than a lover's scorn.
It,
When Iroviel knew Dobby, he was a gnome, right?
Yeah.
It was a
Wow.
deep gnome or just a gnome?
Yeah.
I think just a gnome or a mountain gnome or a rock gnome or something.
Yeah,
It'll make
I think
things
it
a lot
was-
easier
it was
now.
a rock gnome. Yeah.
And I guess the elf form she knew for a little bit, right? She knew
No,
both.
never.
No, that was after.
Oh, okay.
That was
My
after.
memory.
But
Sorry.
as she hears all these jokes and innuendos, she just rolls her eyes and mutters, "He wishes," as if.
Bear spits on the ground and says, "Tch, he would never debase himself
By
that."
he would never debase himself by romancing a beautiful, capable woman. What?
You couldn't handle Dobby.
Beautiful.
Are-
I think you
I
mean
have to ask again.
violent.
Are you his valet? Like what? What is? I don't understand this dynamic. I can't tell if you are serving Dobby, if you are in love with Dobby.
His wingman.
A bit of both.
Yes.
It's okay if there's a spectrum here, but I'm curious.
Indrina comes down and sees the globe, the snow globe, and she's like, "I used to sing in this opera house here." She points towards the little
Don't
miniature.
touch it.
She's like, I'm sorry. I'm homesick." I want to desperately be there.
I would very much like to be home as well.
Home is where Dobby is.
See, it just gets more confusing every time.
It's
I don't-
just-
I've seen so many. Do you know how many polycules I've seen? And the complexities of relationships are not lost on me. I don't understand what's happening here.
There's a
What's there to
staircase.
understand? He's just a legend. Just look at him.
It's true.
Let us stay focused. We are in a dangerous place here.
Cousin,
Eldon-
cousin, I found a door.
Eldon, I don't think that you should be the one opening those, though.
Why not? I'm an adventurer too now, aren't I?
Technically, you're a rescued prisoner.
Cousin, come this way, cousin.
Technically, you're also a rescued prisoner.
I chose to be where I was.
You chose to be a prisoner?
I chose to be where that prison was.
Cousin, this way.
By
I've
getting
opened the
caught by
door. Cousin,
Bear,
look.
Bear
cousin,
holds up more
come.
rope. Should I tie him up?
Let's.
cousin, come. Look, cousin, come.
I'm coming. Yes, right, right.
Yes, go come with your cousin.
Slow up. We'll find the crevasse soon enough.
Lots of strange
Ah.
relationships here today.
I let out a deep sigh. They are definitely related.
And Eldon says, "Look at this. I think I found the puzzles."
Oh, wonderful! More doors. Hey guys, more doors. Fantastic. Quentin, perhaps you'd like to trap yourself behind one of them.
No, I've had quite
Prison-
enough of that.
Perhaps you. You don't want to purposely imprison yourself
I didn't mean to be here. I meant to be there.
in the prison.
Well, I mean, that was the room I had to be in, so yeah.
So you can see the door to the east here of the wall. This is like basically just an empty, like 15 by 10-foot room, but there's a door to the north. You would probably assume that also heads towards the same, like similar how this room kind of swung down, would go up to the other northern tomb that she told you to stay away from. But then the other one to the right, again the east, says has an inscription on it. You can see it says Dolendar above the words "No world to return." Each letter of each word is set into the wall on a separate tile. So again, Dolendar above "No world to return."
And you, I don't think we've seen Dolendar spelled out. Can you spell Dolendar?
I will spell it. Dolindar.
And no world to return.
Yep. Again, every letter of each word is set into the wall in a separate tile. Eldon says, "It looks like you could push each one. But which
Don't
letters?"
push any yet.
Please do not.
Okay, go ahead and push a bunch.
No.
I'm kidding. There's only one way to do this, and that's through brute force.
Which one did
Right.
our ghost
There.
friend say to press again?
She said
She
nothing.
didn't know.
She
Can I do
doesn't
some
know.
sort of check to see if there's any distinctive markings on any of the
Sure, give me an investigation check.
tiles? Do that. 14.
Maybe some more worn out than others.
No, you don't notice anything. They all look like they're in relatively good shape. Like they're not worn out. Like I see what you're saying. Maybe if one looked like it was pressed more often, it doesn't look like that.
Are the tiles that the letters are on made of metal or stone?
Stone.
Then if I inspected them, would I have any sort of advantage as a deep gnome?
Yeah, go for it. Stone
Okay.
cunning, right?
Yes. What is this, like, perception?
It's advantage. It'd be
investigation?
investigation. Yeah.
Investigation. All right. Bless the advantage. Oh, but not very much. Okay, never mind. I got a 6. Bear's distracted.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Wow,
I
okay.
started with a crit fail, so
There's
Okay.
no I and there is no A in No World to Return to in Dolendar.
Are they able to be pushed or moved around?
Based on your 14 in Roviel got, you could tell that they need to be pushed.
How is Dolendar centered with the phrase under it? Is it like right in the middle? Is it to the left, to the right?
I would say it's kind of center over it. So like maybe in no world to return, it would kind of be like partly over the word world and mostly finish in the middle of the word return.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like they line up or anything. Like words don't line up perfectly.
There are 6 letters that only appear one time. IAWTEU.
And this is above where? This is in this
Unmuted.
where
It's above the door.
it's above this door.
The east
The-
door, correct.
The east door. Is there anything above the north door? Oh, I didn't mean to click.
No, nothing above the north door, but it's leads to that north chamber she said perhaps stay away from.
Okay.
In the other room, sorry, I was trying to ask this before, but I was muted. There were a bunch of things. There was a snow globe, a drift globe, a 2,200 gold, a golden helmet, and one other thing, I think.
There was
A
a,
book
necklace,
and a necklace.
that says "My breath is yours, Kaveta, take it," and it's inscribed on it. And then the book, which is titled "Out of the Endless Prison."
Yours. How is Kaveta spelled?
Kevetta.
And the book was titled Out of the Endless Prison.
Eldon says, "Well, what do we know about Kaveta? What do we know, cousin?"
Dead. She is.
I don't see the
Powerful.
words. I don't see the way to spell out the word dead.
She is powerful. She is. a
Actually, I do.
ghost.
I do see the way to spell it. D from Dolendar. E from return. A from
A
Dolendar.
Dolendar,
And D from world. Dead. Should I press
I
it?
know what your last name is, but is that your entire personality?
Keyword?
Keywords.
Yes.
I'm so good at puzzles.
Puzzle words.
Most people who aren't very good at puzzles think they are.
I have a Wordle streak going for quite some time now.
Oh, I didn't do the word.
Really? They allowed you to do that in prison, did they? Or have you been cheating?
It's the only fun they let me have.
Oh, I see. Spelling bee is where the true scholars go.
Cousin, shall I press it?
No, not quite yet. I think let's allow our compatriots here to give it a good go. What other are there other things that we know? And so the word Dolendar is also letters that can be pressed.
Yep.
Is that okay? So okay. So then Okay.
Do we know the name of her husband?
You haven't heard it?
Okay.
I'll bring Andrina to the front. You are a performer. You
I am.
see and use and sing a lot of words. What can you make of this?
She looks at it and she's like, I can sing, but I don't know what these words have to do with each other. Perhaps the
Okay.
ghost knows the password.
Useless. Thank you. You may go back.
She said she didn't. Dobby, do you have the ability to see magic? The magical essences?
Only if it's presenting itself magically. That is obvious. I cannot detect any magic, if that is what you're
I see.
asking.
Not even be magical. It may just be mechanical.
That is true. It may.
I am quite good mechanically.
He's
From
fixed a
my-
lot of infernal war machines.
So yes. You think it could be mechanical?
Ooh, ooh. Bear gets all excited because this reminds him of stories that he heard in his childhood.
That's right.
Of how great Dobby was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Dobby? Wait, I'm so confused.
Quite old, quite old.
Hmm.
Is this the same bear?
Eldon says,
Perhaps.
Bear was but a young gnome.
there
Hearing
must be
stories of
something
my
we're
other
missing here,
adventures.
everyone. What are we missing,
Perhaps.
cousin? What do we know about this Dolendar?
They're rich, they're powerful,
They hate their kids.
There.
She may have killed her husband.
It's not going to be as
Murderer.
simple as undead, is it?
Is there a you?
We could try undead.
There is.
It probably is enough words for undead.
Yes, there are certainly enough for undead.
Not undeath.
No, yes, there's no H. There's no V, so it can't be Neverwinter or Evernight.
What about her personality, cousin? What do we know of her? Undeath wouldn't have been written on these walls when she was buried.
She is.
Angry.
Ah, let's try angry.
That's
Oh
not.
no.
No,
Oh,
no,
no
G.
G.
Almost
There's no
none
Y.
of those letters are here.
A-N. What are some things she's got to...
The size of the word would be very helpful.
That's it. I'm going to try something. And he starts
Yes.
to reach for a button, if you'll let him do it.
Let's just all step back.
He presses D, E, A, D. One D from the first D in Dolendar, then the E from return, the A from Dolendar, and then the D from world. And nothing happens.
Let out a sigh of relief.
Those buttons, though, stay depressed.
Oh.
I'm with
Okay.
them.
Dead.
What
Nice.
letter comes after D?
Hmm.
Uh,
So it's larger than 4 letters.
try...
Dread.
that
Yes,
is-
but how do I reset this?
Perhaps just try... try hitting more buttons so there's no...
I'll try to start
Just-
over. And he hits the D in the second D in Dolendar, and then you hear a click, and then he, let's see here. Everybody in the room needs to give me a
Yeah,
Charisma.
Back up.
charisma saving throw.
Oh,
How far in the room? Staircase in the room, or
Staircase is not in the room.
What kind of
all
saving
right?
Charisma saving throw.
throw?
Oh shit! Probably the only one that would have been okay with that.
Is
Ed
this
Eldon passes.
is this magic?
It is psychic damage.
Ah, okay.
Am I far enough away that I don't do this?
Correct.
Oh, plus.
Okay, so CJ, you take 22 psychic damage.
Oh,
Michelle, you pass, so you take 11, and Eldon passes, he takes 11. He grabs at his temples. He's like, ah, cousin, what is this trickery?
Oh, the pain. Do not do that again until we have figured it out. It's 5 letters. Oh, God.
Yeah, you see the letters reset, actually, too.
5,
5 letters.
letters.
So not dead.
Not dead. Not
could be
undead
dread.
either. Could be dread. Could be...
We also, I will say, we don't know. There's a chance it's 5 letters and we got the wrong word. There's also the chance that we had the right 4 letters and the second D or third D was the first wrong letter we entered.
What other words can we come up from dead?
Well, I don't think it might not be one word.
Well, it's
But-
5 letters.
If it is 5 letters,
No option for space bars.
No.
How do we know it's 5 letters again? Sorry, I missed that.
It was the 5th letter that caused the pain.
And then all of them reset.
Oh, I see.
my point is, it either could be 5 letters and we got the word wrong, or it could be much more than that, and that third D was the first mistake we made.
It's possible, but I think we can. Let's work it within the assumption that it's a 5-letter word.
Indrina leaves. She's going to go back towards the ghost room.
Don't go
Perhaps
too far.
someone-
I'll follow her. Indrina, where are you going?
I demand that you tell us how to get into this room. She's going
No, no,
full
no, no,
Karen.
No, pull her back.
Full Karen here.
I'm going to say, Indrina, I need you to look at me, and I need you to listen to me. Are you looking and are you listening?
She's looking at the ghost, and Numi's like,
I am so sorry. I don't know the password.
now listen, we're all going to die if you don't help us. What do we know? What do we need to know about this woman?
That is a better avenue to go down. Numi, if you can, please. What can you tell us about...
12? That's one, W-E-A-L.
What can you tell us about Lady Dolendar?
What is there to tell? The Dolendars were all lonely. Many people didn't like them. They didn't like Evernight, but couldn't leave for some reason. They're stuck here.
Perfect. Alone.
Are you sure? Indrina says.
We have known that they are lonely. We've heard that many times. They are lonely, they are alone, they are isolated. I think it's alone.
That is 5 letters.
Eldon says, but which ones? There are multiples. Look, there's a A in Dolendar. There's a many O's.
That's a good point.
Cousin, you press the next one.
It's got to be the ones in the name, right?
Well, there's no E in the name.
No,
There's
there's
only
not.
one in your
But
return.
there is only one E.
Okay.
Indrina, you've lived in Neverwinter. What do you know of this family? They were once prominent there.
Oh, they were prominent maybe hundreds of years ago. I do not know them.
Numi, could you come into the chamber with us?
I can't.
You said that
It
you
breaks
watched,
the rules.
You said that you watched people enter enter things into this puzzle before.
I've heard them.
Do you
I've heard them
remember what
bicker
what
like
heard?
you all are. Some succeeded, others died.
When the ones succeeded, what were their exclamations?
I'm not allowed to say those curse words.
What were their positive
Balderdash.
exclamations?
Poppycock.
Yes. You are certainly from another time. What were their positive exclamations? When they solved it, what
Hip
did you
hip,
hear?
hooray! Hip hip, hooray!
All right, I can tell that I'm going to get more of the same dish.
They also said things like jolly good.
Well
Yes.
met.
People from my country, I see.
Well done.
Well, if the word is alone, then do it, cousin. Press it.
That is a very good point, Meg.
Uh-oh.
Just looking at the chat,
we're getting hints from chat.
who suggested one letter from each word. You
Oh,
can
chat.
spell alone, choosing one letter from each word.
Chat, helping out. This is like the god's fortune here. Shall
Well-
you, cousin?
We're not going to be here forever. Everyone get out of the room. I'll press it. This was the word I thought. I'll be the one.
Very well.
Is hockey strong enough to press it?
No.
Ah, worth a try.
Cousin,
Also,
So
I
they
come-
have mage hand.
I just realized we had gifted memberships from Itsy Bitsy, Spider, and Wayne. So thank you, both of you. I appreciate the gifted memberships. Always help to get people into the membership program. Thank you.
cousin, please come back.
Sorry,
Out of the room.
does someone have mage hand?
I have all the wrong cantrips, it seems.
Damn it.
Can we?
Get a
Never mind.
10-foot pole.
I have mage hand.
And push this.
Are you
Let's
doing
get a
it?
10-foot pole
I do
and
have
push
mage
them
hand.
from back here.
It's true.
I don't know why I was thinking I couldn't use mage hand. I guess the same reason I was thinking I couldn't use a familiar. Yes, I'm going to say everyone I get out of the room, and then look brave for a moment, and then I'm going to step out of the room. And I'm going to use mage hand. I will stay in the room while I press the first 4. So, and then I'm just going to hover over the last and step out. So I'm going to press the A.
Quentin straightens out his
Indolent.
jacket, dust off his shoulders, and then mage hands from 10 feet away.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to press the A in Dolendar,
Okay.
then the L in World,
Okay.
the O in 2,
Mm-hmm.
the N in No,
Mm-hmm.
and the E in Return.
You hear a click, and the door unlocks. You can hear the mechanism, the same mechanism that like made the psychic attack on all of you, but it doesn't hurt. It opens
Hip,
the
hip.
door. Hooray!
Hip hip hooray!
Exactly, just like that.
Yes, for the record, the word is alone. If other people come in here and they want the answer, it's alone.
What? I can't hear you. I'm going back to my
Alone.
tomb.
It's alone. You responded to me. I know you can hear me. I'm going to write it on the paper.
Well, sorry I couldn't hear you. I'm going to my eternal slumber.
I just want to say, Meg, thank you. You're going to
you,
get a
Meg.
free magic item in our campaign.
Thank you, Meg.
All right. Shall we?
The door is unlocked.
It seems so obvious
Yeah.
now.
I would have thought of it eventually.
Dobby, I feel like in another minute you would have gotten it, no problem.
No, I was just testing them the whole time.
Of course, I knew you were.
I roll my eyes.
Who opens the door?
I swear they're definitely scuttlebutting or whatever.
There is.
They're poppycocking all over each other. I can say that for sure.
Someone's getting into someone's crevasse.
It's a crevice of dusk. So, let's find out.
Yeah, let's go through.
Who opens the door?
I think Mage Hand opens the door.
Okay, fair enough.
Sure, that's fair. Good point, Dobby. Yes.
So,
yeah, I'll open the door with Mage Hand as Edmund is right next to it.
on the far side of the room,
I'm
rests
doing
a
the.
s-
I'm ready to breach.
You ready to breach?
Soon-
Okay. You
soon
can
as
breach.
the door
Move yourself
opens.
in. Move yourself in. In fact, it might be better for everybody to move themselves in so you can see what's here. On the far side of the room rests a stone coffin. Between the door and the coffin, the floor is studded with sharp metal blades. A person-shaped figure with elongated arms lurks on top of the coffin. And I do have some excellent art here.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It even says lonely.
Oh no. Oh, I should have known that. I should have known that was what it was hinting towards. I thought, because we're not in the Shadowfell.
So,
Damn it.
you open up the door and you can see this creature again with elongated arms, like almost like forming blades and whips, and her robes tattered, but she rises from that coffin there, and you can see there's a glow like within the coffin. This must be the crevice of dusk. And Kaveta says to you, "Why have you come to my tomb?" She moves with an irregular motion as she crawls on top of the coffin.
I immediately I just kind of glance at everybody and keep my head low and bow a little bit, reach into my little satchel and pull out the jar of blood. Lady Cavetta, we have come here to do you a service and give you a gift and hope that the hospitality is returned in favor. And
She
I
looks
hold
at
out the
you.
jar to her.
Edmund
me.
Brycene, friend to elf and man.
Again, she's
Come here.
She says, "You are my friend."
Yes, friend.
Well then, friend, you'll be here for a long time.
We bring you
And-
gifts.
She gets ready to shoot out one of her arms towards you. Everybody roll initiative.
I had it, Edmund. I had it.
I don't know. She's strange.
Not sure.
You're not leaving here. You'll stay with me forever.
But then the sign on the top of the door won't make any sense.
The puzzle's gonna be useless.
You put all this effort into this puzzle. Also, very odd to create a puzzle that says alone and then choose to go inside and be alone for eternity. Either you hired a very confused stonemason, or you know yourself very well.
Now who's being antagonistic?
It's already an antagonized situation.
All right, what are our initiatives here?
10
10 for
Dobby has
Quinton.
a 21.
Dobby 21.
The Rovials also looks like a 21.
Also 21.
I'll put a Roviel first.
Smart.
Then,
Dobby 21.
And
then
Bear
with a
15? CJ, what'd you get?
13.
And I got a 10.
Okay. Eldon and Idrina are going to stand behind here. They're not going to be involved in this very much. It is dark down here, so the only light is your lantern. And let's jump into battle here. We're going to start with Aroviel, 21.
I Roviel, as soon as she came into the room, got into the corner. Good position. Far enough away, but close enough that she can shoot. She's going to cast Lightning Arrow. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat on roll 20. Essentially, next time she shoots, which is going to be now, her arrow turns into a bolt of lightning, and the target will take 48 extra damage on a hit or half as much on a miss.
Okay.
Also, each creature within 10 feet of the target has to make a dex saving throw, but there is no one within 10 feet, so I think we're fine on that front. So that'll be a 13 to hit.
A 13 does not hit.
Damn it.
That's a nat 1,
Okay.
actually, so.
Okay. So then let me take a look at the wording of the spell, and I'm wondering if it'll be effective for my second attack or just goes away. Yeah, lightning arrow's gone. Didn't work. I am going to shoot again, though, and hope that this one is better.
That's a little better.
29, just a little better.
Yep.
It's the next attack, not the next attack that hits.
Next time let me just triple check myself here. Next time you make a ranged weapon attack.
So unfortunately,
Oh,
we'll go with
yeah.
the first one.
But I think it has an effect. I think it still explodes with lightning, regardless of if you hit.
Oh, you're right. Half as much damage on a miss.
Oh, okay. Cool. So then it'll do some damage.
So, okay.
Okay.
Um,
So just roll the lightning damage
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
so there's the lightning damage. So I guess 10 damage from lightning and then 17 from my second piercing attack.
Got you.
And you would get Colossus Slayer on that too.
And I get Colossus Slayer, so 19 from that second attack. Thank you
Great.
for helping with that.
Now,
Quentin, that was helpful.
Now, your magical bow normally cuts through enemies who have resistance, but it seems like when the arrow flies into the room and hits her, it doesn't penetrate through resistance. She seems to not be as affected by that as she was by the lightning.
Okay. Good to know.
I think I know why.
So
You
the
might know
lightning
why.
was better.
The lightning seemed to go through, and she even like shrieked as the lightning bolted through the sky.
Great.
All right, now we go to Dobby.
All right. I look at Bear. It's time to rock and roll here. I'm gonna do just a small turn here real quick. I'm gonna get my Hawkeye into the fight to get ready to aid our team right there adjacent to Big Bad Ghost Lady.
Sure.
And I'm going to stay. Where am I right now? Am I in a doorway or around the corner? I can't really tell.
That's a doorway, yeah.
So am I in the doorway or like?
You're like
out?
you're catty. You're like right up against the door, but you like half of you. I mean, you and Bear are kind of like standing in front of a door. So like one of you would just go in at once, one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stand where I am, put my hand on Bear's shoulder, and cast protection from good and evil
Okay.
on Bear.
All right. So Bear, you probably will have a good defense here. A disadvantage if the creature is evil. We'll see. Maybe.
It's a couple different creature types. I'll read them real quick. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope.
See what happens.
Sounds promising.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And it would
you
be
never know. She might
Bear
be
next.
good. Yes. Okay. So then Bear will sense the protection that has fallen over him thanks to Dobby's wondrous magic. And Bear looks at Dobby, eyes shining, and then he starts to grin, and his grin gets a little maniacal, and he starts like laughing loud, and he says, okay, let's go, let's do this. And then Bear just, he turns to look at Kavetta, and he says, you dare to hurt the great Dobby? And he flies into a rage. So as Bear, he's gonna cross the room at a full sprint. In his mind, of course, he's moving like real fast, like he's galloping. But to everyone else, he's like kind of, going across slowly.
And you go even slower, Michelle, because the floor is filled with blades, so it would take double the amount of movement.
Yikes. Okay.
Unless you just want to take a bunch of damage running through the blades.
Well, both will
Basically.
happen. Both will happen.
You could also jump.
You could jump. You
Oh.
are very strong.
I am very strong. Okay. Then yeah, I guess Bear would have seen the blades on the ground and probably just like tried to leap across this crevasse of a sorts, wielding his axe and trying to just like land straight at Mother Person's face.
Sure. So jumping
Mother person.
is to long jump here. It's your strength score if you move at least 10 feet. What's your strength score?
Strength score is 19, modifier +4.
Okay, so you can go 19 feet,
19.
but that would only get you. We could say you can go 4 squares essentially. So you'd be going 1, 2, 3. You can land right here, next to Kavetta.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Unfortunately, though, you are going to take some damage when you land. There's no way to avoid it.
Of course.
It's not a lot, but it is 6 piercing damage. Did you go into a rage?
I did.
Okay, so then half that. It would be 3.
All right. Cool.
All right.
It's okay. Bear is blinded by his fanaticism. Okay. Cool. So then from here, Bear will then do his best to just like hack straight into Kavetta's neck. Like he's just gonna try and go for her most vulnerable spots.
Sure.
With
They even are.
advantage.
Well, sweet. Okay. Thanks, Dobby, he shouts over his shoulder.
You can thank Hawkeye.
Does a
Ooh.
I know a 13 didn't hit. Does
They
a
don't
14
hit. No, 14 does not hit.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, here I am. On
Two
some
attacks or
blades.
just one?
Both. Well, it's an advantage, but you get another attack.
Okay.
15 does not hit either.
18?
You don't get advantage on the second one.
Oh, never mind.
Only because Hockey gave the help action.
All right. Well, Bear's been stunned by all this blade situation, so just kind of like panting and bewildered. Help!
Yeah, it's not going to be good actually for you right now because Kavetta goes next, and she is angry with you. So
I get it.
at the start of her turn, everyone within 5 feet of her needs to give me a wisdom saving throw. So that would be Hockey and Bear.
And is this magic?
Yeah, go for it.
It's just gnome cunning. It says I
Yeah.
have advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Yeah, go for it. It's a magical
Alright.
effect. Go ahead.
How can I do Hockey's? It's not on my character sheet.
I would just roll a d20 and add Hawk's wisdom. It's probably +1 or 2 or something like that. Actually, it might be
4.
very low. Actually, I don't know. You have to check the animal, but that's going to be low anyway. Of 4. Hockey, unfortunately, is going to die as he'll be sent back to the plane he came from. You're going to take a total of where'd it go? Here it is.
Hockey, no!
Yeah, Hockey's going to take 13 psychic damage. So will Bear. Unfortunately, psychic damage cuts through your resistance from rage. So you take 13. And then Kavetta is going to look at you. She's so happy that you're here, actually. So she's going to welcome some other friends here. She's going to see Edmund down the road. Edmund, you can see her form like a spear from her like tentacled hand, and it just shoots right at you across the room. This harpoon arm comes right at you. 25, Edmund.
To hit or damage?
To hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
You take 13 piercing damage.
Oh.
However, you are now grappled. She's going to use her sorrowful embrace, though. Give me a wisdom saving throw, Edmund.
7.
A 7. You fail. And you're going to take 27 psychic damage.
Oh my god.
And
Edmund's-
then she is going to use part of that attack action to drag you through the blades. She just rakes you across them. You take a total
Cool.
of 17 piercing damage.
I'm unconscious.
Edmund,
Oh.
the hero of Icewind Dale, goes down.
I
And
have
she-
6 healing potions in my bag.
They're all broken now. She just dragged you right through, ripped your shreds. And she lifts you up, your mangled body, and she's like, "Oh, what a pity. He won't be staying for very long, unlike you." And she kind of looks right at Bear when she says that. We go to Edmund. Give me a death saving throw.
Cool.
Quentin, you're up.
How tall are the ceilings in here?
They are 10 feet.
10 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is Edmund is still grappled by that arm?
Yes.
Cool. What's the light situation over there? Because I know that you said it's like there's like shadows dripping around.
There's none. She's got no lights in here. Your lantern is the only light source, and she's just in your dim range at this point.
Okay. Jesus.
Edmund's
right,
hanging upside down.
I want to ask.
Mangled.
I want to do 2 things. I'm gonna ask if I can do one thing. I don't think you'll allow me, but I'm gonna ask anyway. And then I have an alternate though. Could I, as just an object interaction, throw my lantern across?
I'll let you drop it to the next square.
Okay, so just drop. I can't like throw it across the spikes
That
as an
technically
object.
is an action, but you could drop it to the next square. It's fine.
Okay, so I'll drop it then. I see Edmund is in a bad way. she just really fucked him up.
Yep.
I would have to get to him to heal him, and I cannot get through all those spikes. So I'm going to do the other thing and naturally turn into a giant ape.
There we go.
I just sent, I think you already have a token, but I just sent you a token if you want to use it. But I'm going to turn into a giant ape who is quite blonde and leap across. I'm going to use my movement to just leap. I can get over there. I want to use I just want to try to get in her face. I know I've already used my action to do that.
Yep.
Would you allow, if we're going a little out of order, me to just give a bardic to Edmund, either as an ape or before I transformed?
Not to Edmund, because he's unconscious, right? So it has to be a living... Well, I guess he's a living creature. Sure, you can give it to
He's
Edmund.
living. Yeah, basically, I want to give him a bardic that he can use on his...
That's fine.
On a death save if he wants.
So you give it to Edmund, you jump across, you turn into an ape. I'm going to give you 6 piercing damage because your body's so big you couldn't really squeeze right here.
Sure.
But you land on the spikes, but you're okay. And yeah, you land there. And when you put your lantern down, you notice something. She like kind of shied away from that light source.
I did want to bring the lantern with me. That was why I put it down.
You didn't want to drop it. Oh, you didn't want to drop it.
I wanted to put it down, but I didn't want it to go into my form. So I wanted to basically just pick it, bring it with me as an ape.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You have the light source in your hand.
Okay, so I would bring it, and because I wouldn't be able to see otherwise.
Yeah, she hates the light. She's like hissing at you and pulling Edmund's body to like shade her eyes.
Amazing. Yeah, I've already used my action, bonus action. So you have a bardic inspiration that you can use, Edmund. But I am a giant ape holding a lantern. Naturally,
sure.
That's my turn.
Eroviel.
Yeah, Iroviel is getting ready to shoot a second lightning arrow, but seeing Edmund just absolutely get dragged through these knives and being held there by this evil creature, she'll like, fine. And she's gonna concentrate for a second. She kind of like lets her bow go a little bit slack, closes her eyes, and you see what looks like a spirit form right around where Edmund is. She's casting healing spirit, is that what it's called? Yeah, healing spirit right on his square.
Nice.
Oh wow, okay.
Very nice.
When does
I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
When does it happen? Like, does it start to heal on his turn or immediately?
So it appears immediately, and basically until I end the spell, when a creature either moves into this space or starts its turn there. So at the top of Edmund's turn, he will gain d6 hit points, and there's no other action required. And people can continue moving in and out of it or starting their turn in there.
Okay, great.
Beginning of my turn.
Great. Okay.
Yes. So the
Huge.
spirit appears. I'm imagining it looks like some wild beast, but maybe like a darker looking one to reflect the lack of soul that Iroviel has.
Fair enough.
And after she does this, she gets right back to her bow and arrow, and because that was a bonus action, and we're gonna try to shoot this lady again.
Cool.
It's a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
13 damage.
And that seems to all go through now as the light seems to be shedding that resistance.
Awesome. And second attack, 30. 18 damage.
Nice.
Nice.
And that's all for Iroviel.
That hurts. She is she's bloodied.
Amazing turn.
Okay, we go to Dobby.
All right. I'm going to take a step here because I can't see anything from in that room anymore. And I am going to... Oh, Hawkeye's dead. All right. I'm going to go with the lightning theme here. I got lightning spell. I might not have light spells or mage hand or other cantrips, but I have a lightning spell. And I'm going to use it on 4th level. lightning bolt. The
Oh
big
God, no.
But I'm a skilled sorcerer, so my friends are safe.
Okay,
okay.
that's right.
It's
Yeah,
like,
Yes. It's a
CJ's
straight line right through some of my people here.
his
But
dead
they're
I'm
safe.
going
body.
to kill Edmund.
You scared
I
him.
could
You
choose
say-
who's safe. Who do I choose?
Save bear.
I
CJ
save
clenched.
all of you. I could save up to 5 of you, so we're okay.
Oh, the powerful
Yeah,
Dobby
good.
knows no limits.
Exactly. It is spell level
This is the
+1,
way.
so I'm casting a lightning bolt at 4th level,
Okay.
which is a...
All of a sudden, a cultist counterspells it. Just
What?
kidding. Just kidding.
Don't do
You
this
wizards. You get so tense.
to me. I rolled it twice for some reason.
It looks
They-
like 31
It's
both
the
times.
same roll, yeah. But it's a DC 16 dexterity saving throw.
Only Dobby could make a mistake and it be okay.
I'm glad you
13.
understand.
A 13.
So you fail.
I
You
failed.
take 31 lightning damage.
Oh, jeez.
And is there anything flammable in the area?
Edmund.
No, not. I should rephrase that. Not currently on anyone.
No.
On the floor, by standing in the crypt
No.
area. No.
No.
On the walls. Nothing.
No, it's stone. Everything here is stone.
Oh, blast.
Or metal. Yeah. All right. So the lightning bolt strikes true. Kavetta takes all that damage. She's hurting. We go to Bear. Bear, you know she goes right after you. Make this count.
Yeah, okay. When Bear attacks now, he's specifically going to aim for the arm or like the shoulder that's holding Edmund. So he's going to try and like sever this connection if he can. You never know. Okay. Oh my god, please! Please, dice gods! Alright, well, I rolled an 11. And a 13. Okay. Bear will continue to flail.
Sorry, Bear. This is gonna
It's
hurt.
okay. It's the thought that counts.
You're
he says
still
to
protected
himself.
there. You're still protected.
Though I
Thank
will
you,
say,
Dobby. Tears streaming down his face. Quentin, help! He looks
She's
over
gonna-
his shoulder at the gigantic blonde ape.
she's gonna drop Edmund because she's gonna harpoon you. But she's gonna drop Edmund here. She ain't stupid.
Aw, that's nice of her.
Away from the healer. Let's go Edmund to... Not Edmund, jeez. Quentin.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? It's not my turn.
22.
22 just hits.
You take 20 piercing damage.
Perfect.
It says you're grappled if you're large or smaller. Are you
I'm
large or
huge,
huge?
baby.
Okay. Okay. So then she'll just attack once more. 24 for 22 more piercing damage.
22. Okay.
She will stay here. I
Not even
guess.
in double digits yet.
Yeah. Actually, she gets advantage. I should have done that. Let me do the advantage real quick, just in case she were to
Yeah.
get a 20.
Yeah, crit fish on me.
No, she does not. Okay. That's the end of her turn. We go to Quentin. Edmund, give me a death save.
Oh, I was like, what?
Quentin, though, your turn. Edmund's death save.
Yes.
He'll roll it.
Heart of the cards.
Hey, there's always a chance he can get a 20.
It's true.
You do have a D10 if you want to use it to try to get that to not be a failure.
It's like
How
It's
many
up to
failures
you.
do you have? This is second failure?
that's my
That's the
second
second failure.
Mm.
I'll just say, yeah.
I'll say Bobby is really good at killing characters early in campaigns.
Killing your characters, especially, I think.
No, not my characters, just characters in general. I mean, Everard, Mike's character,
You
who
will.
else?
Boppy.
Brutal.
Bobby, Bobby.
I've killed a lot of characters, CJ. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to. Are you going to use the inspiration?
I mean, no, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 30. 8% chance.
He's saving that.
Of saving that.
Yeah.
All right. 2 failures, right, Edmund?
Yes, 2 failures. 2 failures.
Okay.
Well, bright side, you're not on top of razors anymore.
That's true.
So that's good.
Quentin.
That's true.
And you don't have a spike in you. I'm going to use my first attack to grapple her.
Okay.
So it'd be athletics, or contested athletics. I have a plus. I'm just gonna roll a d20 because obviously I can use. I think I can do it from the extras tab. Yeah. So it's contested athletics.
I got a 6.
I got a 19. I grab her in my big monkey arm. I am going to use my second attack to slam her into the ground. So I'm going to make a fist attack.
Yeah.
Why did I change tab? Fist attack. That is an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
18 hits. Okay. It's going to roll auto damage. 25 bludgeoning damage.
25. Jeez. This monkey
I'm a
hits
big
hard.
ape. And then I have 50. No, I have 40 feet of movement. You said that its movement is halved in the spikes.
Yep.
Is that because you're is it halved just because it's difficult terrain, or is it halved because to try to avoid damage?
it's difficult terrain and it does damage. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to move 20 feet in it, and I'm going to hold her down into the floor while I do it, grinding her against the spikes.
Okay.
So I would be able to move 20 feet. So that would be 20 feet for her as well.
8d4s. I roll them now. We got 15 and 2. And that is enough to take her out. Especially because you're in bright light right now with her. So,
always carry a lantern with you, folks.
That's right.
I'm never leaving that cantrip at home again.
I know, seriously.
Thank you, Quentin.
For those of you who don't know,
sobbing.
this is called a Lonely Sorrowsworn, and they are pretty nasty, as you can see. Of course, when they're in bright light, though, they lose a lot of their abilities. So,
yeah,
Nice
I
work.
had a feeling as a player, and I was like, well, it does stand to reason I would want the light because I can't see.
yeah.
Is protection
just-
from good and evil useful here? I'm just curious.
It didn't work. Monstrosity.
It did not work.
She's a monstrosity.
Well, what's her alignment?
Not like a fiend or an
it has to be
undead
one
or-
of those
Oh, it's got to be.
creature types, I believe.
As soon as she goes down, I'm gonna move as soon as it's my turn, I'll move my healing spirit on top of Edmund.
Edmund, you come to life with the power of her healing spirit.
by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Literally.
So at this point,
okay.
you can just move your characters. We'll say that since you're out of combat, you can avoid the spikes.
I'll ferry everybody across, just gonna grab them, place them on the other
Sure.
side.
Yep. Eldin and Indrina come out from their hiding spot. And you can see within the coffin, though, that there is a silver, purpley, swirling energy at the bottom. Eldin says, "That's it, the crevice of dusk. This must lead to Neverwinter. Cousin, let us go."
Did we get her? We got her! Ha ha! I knew we would get her.
Oh,
Edmund
thanks to
Brystein
you,
always
buddy.
gets the evil out. Ha ha!
Cousin, I wasn't watching, but how did you fare?
Wonderful.
Oh,
I even dealt the killing blow.
I'm sure you did.
I'm still holding her in my hand, just like a fish I caught.
Bear is just staring at Edmund, eyes wide, like as if he just saw him like rise from the dead, which he kind of did. You know, Bear got a really close-up view of Edmund's dangling unconscious face, so he's just like still in shock.
You're all chattering, and Andrina takes this opportunity. She looks around and she jumps in.
Well,
She's-
I hope that is getting her to where she's planning on going.
I
How
did
do we
want
know
to
where
ask,
this goes.
She disappears.
Dasha, your healing spirit can continue healing, right?
Yep, for 4 turns. Or four times it can heal.
So, Edmund, you might want to take a little healing spirit bath
I
Don't
can-
worry.
for 4 turns.
I imagine he's been
Stand here.
standing in it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this time, so if you want to take 46.
But a little
Healing.
metagame here, you're not going to need it. So you're good.
Great.
Trust me.
Okay.
So-
Seeing Adrena jump in, Iroviel's like, "Fuck,
Oh,
I need to go
God.
after her. She'll look at everyone. I have to follow.
Mhm.
Look at what I rolled.
Oh God.
What'd
I'm
you
so
I think
roll?
you get to
sorry.
add. I think you get to add their wisdom each time, though.
Oh, 4-year-old. It's all right. Like I said, you're not going to be in any
Yeah.
danger at this point.
I'm assuming this crevice is a little big or a little small for my ape form.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
probably.
I'll go back to being my normal blonde self instead of my ape blonde self.
Fair enough.
I look at Quentin and his magic and I nod, having heard of a spell of such transformation before.
It never feels good. Oh, I pull my back out every single time.
Yeah, it's funny, Dobby. Yeah, you can realize how powerful Quentin must be to be able to cast these spells. Eroviel as well. You've seen rangers before, but maybe none of this capability. So,
Shall we?
well, at least last you saw her, you didn't know she could do all these things. So, shall we?
Iroviel jumps in.
Everybody else?
Certainly hope this is going to take us all to where we need to go. Are you sure, cousin, that these all lead to where do you know where these lead? Is there a way to know where it goes?
Of course not.
Why were
And
we-
he jumps in.
Fantastic. Well,
Runs in the family. I follow.
all
Bear
follow.
is going
to
to
adventure.
Yeah, I'll follow too.
yeah. Bear, if Dobby would allow it, Bear's gonna hop on his back like
Let's go,
like
Dobby.
Yoda be in the
Let's go
backpack.
there.
Yes, and just hop on and boom, let's go.
Dobby's goat legs end up forcing him to fall into the crevice,
Yes,
and
yes.
Bear
Still getting
goes
used
head
to
first. Yeah. So, here's what happens. You find yourselves awake, back in the Never Death catacombs, in that same room where Eldin was trapped and you all were teleported away. You wake up, you stand, you seem all there. Indrina, though, is gone. Eroviel went in right after her, but she's standing by the doorway. Indrina has left. Perhaps you can find her soon. She probably won't get too far, especially someone of her very little knowledge of how to evade people from kidnapping her. But the rest of you wake up. Randall, Quentin will just move into Jarreau's room, which is, again, right adjacent to that chamber, and you'll hunt through his trunk that he has. You'll see he took most of his items, his personal belongings, paperworks, but your backpack, your material components, things that you would have stored away are there.
I think I just have a moment. I literally like all of my like other items, like my cloak of protection, like any of my magic items, I just kind of throw aside and eventually find the necklace, and just kind of hold it, and just hold it tight. And I use one of my last 3rd level, to just cast sending, to my wife, and just say, I know I'm late with this one. I'm okay. I love you both.
The necklace starts to glow, Randall.
I hold it closer and I put it on.
The necklace begins to shine a bright light out. In fact, everyone, you're engulfed by it. And then before you know it, you're no longer in the Never Death graveyard yet again. You find yourselves in a parlor. This is actually a very different location than any of the places you've been in before. This is like with a flash of that light, the world just like winks out of existence, and there you are. You're standing in a parlor, candlelit parlor. There's a plush chair, couches, footrests, and you're now seated. You can see a stately woman in blue robes leans towards you, her brow furrowed in confusion and concern. You can see in the blurry background as your vision starts to come to, a frowning woman in flowing black dress, and a man tugging in confusion at his high crimson collar, stroking his goatee, light reflecting off of his completely shaven bald head. Randall, Quentin immediately notices the woman in the back who is sitting on one of the sofas to be that of Tasha. And some of you probably recognize the other characters here. I know Dasha, Eroviel and Dobby would recognize the man as Mordenkainen. You have met Mordenkainen before in Avernus. And the other is one that you may not necessarily know, but you've definitely heard of. She's the famed Illustrial Silverhand. She's an elf, and she is a very powerful wizard. In fact, all of these three individuals are known by most people, especially adventurers like yourself in the realm. It would be almost recognizable. Maybe Bear doesn't know them.
Oh. Bear's like, eh.
Yeah.
Who are these guys?
Not impressed.
I looking at Tasha, just kind of stand and give a courtly bow.
You notice
lady?
something's off about her, though. She tries to stand from her sofa and immediately kind of like falls back into it. She looks weakened, gaunt. She says, "No need for the pleasantries." She catches a deep breath. She says, "We haven't much time for it."
Are you all right?
"I'm fine. I will be fine." And then Illustrial kind of stands forward and she says to you all, "Welcome to my private sanctum. I am Illustrial Silverhand. I've heard about many of you. I believe you, Quentin, are an aide to Tasha. Is that correct?"
Yes. If Tasha has told you that, then yes.
Yes, she's mentioned quite a bit about you. Though I don't necessarily know about the rest.
Greetings! I am Edmund Brycene,
I gave it to
friend
you. I gave it
to elf and man. Wink.
I gave it to him. Yep. She says, "Oh,
Hero
these are your heroes?"
of Icewind Dale.
Icewind Dale, interesting, she says. "It's been quite some time since I've been beyond the spine of the world."
Perhaps you've heard of the terrible dragon attack that happened there a few years ago.
Mordenkainen says, "Yes, very, very disturbing. Now,
Oril,
we must speak.
Endless Winter. Okay. Fine.
We must talk." He steps forward and gazes at you all with a sharp, piercing look, and his voice matches. He says, "You face an enemy far greater than you know." And he looks super serious right now. There's no joking in his demeanor. Illustrial, while she was very polite and everything, she also kind of looks to the ground, and so you can see the sort of like the solemn look in her face. And Tasha just looks exhausted, sitting on the couch. They say, or Mordenkainen says, "While you were gone," mentioning to Quentin, "many events have occurred with the plot to stop Vecna. Are you up to date? Where have you been?"
I'm not up to date. I've been in a jail cell for some time. I
He wanted to be there.
infiltrated the cult of Vecna. There were several there that were interrogating other prisoners. 2 are behind us, Indrina and Eldon. There was a third that I remember, but unfortunately we were not able to get to them. I don't know what their condition is currently.
Tasha says, much has happened since you've been gone. She says, we were betrayed. The Mordenkainen you see here is not the one that we first initially met. Mordenkainen steps forward again and says, yes, we were betrayed. We were betrayed by one of Vecna's lieutenants, although I'm not quite sure that they have the same relationship as they once did. Are you familiar with the vampire named Cass?
As a avid student of history, would I be familiar
You can
with
all
them?
give me a history check.
Okay.
I'll tell you if you know. If you
Edmund,
get a 20
you
or
have
higher.
a bardic still if you want to use it.
True.
19.
Ooh, so close, all of you. No.
I am going to though silvery barbs Edmund to give myself advantage.
You're gonna silvery barbs, Edmund?
I'm gonna silvery barbs Edmund so that I can get advantage on it. I gave
So
him
what
a
does
bardic.
this-
It's all balancing out. All
What
right.
does the silvery barbs do?
You have to
Silver barbs,
re-roll
you have
it.
to re-roll. But you do have a bardic, so you can also roll a 10 and add on top of it.
Okay, so I rolled the bardic, so I got an 8. So I'd re-roll my d20.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, a
That's a
15
14.
again.
Well, it's a 14,
there you go.
but that's
Oh,
a 14 plus 8.
okay.
Well, I'm glad I did it because it would have been a nat 1 if I didn't. So
There you go. All right, so it looks like Edmund's the only one who's heard of Cass.
And it's like, ah.
No need to, no
And-
need to
Now, here's the other thing. You're casting a spell. Is it very obvious that you're casting it on me?
probably.
You do. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
probably it's just verbal.
Let's
but
just put,
I do
let's,
think-
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Didn't matter anyway. Let's just say you're right.
Yeah.
This would be a silly time to use it. But Edmund, your initial roll made it anyway.
Okay.
So Edmund's okay. They're like, now, we can tell you a little bit about this guy. But Edmund, you also know about Cass. When Vecna was human, Cass was his right-hand man. They were best of friends. He was his lieutenant, but Cass is the reason that Vecna has only one hand and one eye. It's Cass who gouged it out and cut off the hand. So they don't have a close relationship anymore, to say the least.
Hey, I mean, arguably, Cass made him more famous, so
True.
gave him kind of his whole shtick.
Yeah, true. But either way, Mordenkainen goes on and says that the Cass that you knew deceived Illustrial and Tasha. He wears an artifact called the Crown of Lies. It makes him undetectable, his deception, even by magic, even by powerful magic of these two. It was about a few weeks ago that I was contacted by Illustrial. I had never been contacted before, and yet she spoke as if we had just communicated. I knew something was off. We laid a trap down, but Cass escaped. He escaped with another important artifact, the Chime of Exile. Tasha's voice cuts in and she's like, yeah, he had this plan, he said. It's just... She kind of repositions herself on the couch. It's just that we didn't realize it before it was too late. After we contacted the real Mordenkainen, we knew that his plan might still work, but what are his true motives? He said we need to find something called the Rod of 7 Parts. If we found the rod, it would be powerful enough to stop Vecna's ritual of remaking. And then Illustrial more composed, always comes in and says, "See, Tasha's not feeling well. She's used all her power to locate the remaining pieces of the rod, but Vecna's influence over the multiverse has distorted its locations. Our spells, even those powerful wish spells, can't locate them. The task is slow and tedious and also dangerous. She's used much of her magic up."
I'm sorry that you've had to exert yourself so greatly.
Do you have any leads on where these things might be? Did this Cass tell you anything?
"I do," Tasha says. "Before Cass betrayed us, we located most of the pieces. And that's really where the danger comes in, is that he knows how to find them." Mordenkainen's face darkens and continues. He says, "2 of our most trusted agents already been dispatched."
Who are these agents? How do you
Sure
know they
they're-
can be trusted?
I'm sure they are very smart, wise, and powerful to be working with you.
Mordenkainen says, "One of my closest confidants. Yours as well, I believe. Eroviel, is it?
Yes,
We've met before.
it's been a long time.
I recognize that face. You look different. As do you, Dobby."
I nod. You look the same.
He kind of does. Bald head.
It was a
Goatee.
polycule.
Bear's looking back and forth between their faces like jaws slack. He's shocked. Oh, Dobby, you're so cool. You even know who these random guys are. Wow.
He's unlocking all the secret Dobby lore that he never knew before.
Exactly. Starstruck.
Then you remember your friend and trusted companion, Lucius.
Of course.
Ah, Lucius, yes.
Haven't spoken to him in years.
Lucius travels to the Underdark, to a place called Webb's Edge, while another wizard of great renown, Runar, heads to the Astral Sea. You see, the rod pieces get scattered across vast realms and worlds, some places that others never knew existed. In fact, none of us here, even pointing to the 3 of them, have traveled to all of them. There's a danger in traveling to many worlds, different realities. But we have to retrieve the pieces. Either that or Cass will. He looks to each of you and says, "We need you to help find the pieces before it's too late." Tasha then rises and steps forward. She kind of loses her balance at this point, but she catches herself on the armchair. Before speaking, her voice is serious. She looks right at you, Quentin, and she says, "Your task is simple, yet perilous. You must recover the pieces before Cass or Vecna's forces can. Time is not on our side, and we cannot afford any mistakes, but beware. Cass is a master of deception. With the crown, he can assume any form. His intentions may remain unclear, but we do know that if he opposes Vecna, or seeks to rule in his place, we cannot be certain of what he wants. Trust no one outside this circle, and forget that others may be unwitting pawns in his game."
And I want to be certain of something. And you said that you've been betrayed by Cass before, and that he was taking the guise of Mordenkainen?
Correct. But I know that it's you. And she waves her hand, and you can see the locket start to glow again.
Yes. Is there Mordenkainen? I would ask of Lady Tasha, but I can see that she has already used much of her great power. Mordenkainen, I've heard legend of you. Is there a way that you can ensure that all here are as they present, are who they say they are not to uncover all secrets, but that we are not, that none of us are possibly lying about who we are, at the very least.
I cannot. But even if one of these, and he points to probably Bear, because he doesn't know you at all, or Edmund, even if one of these travelers is deceiving us now, it will be foolish of Cass. We'll retrieve 2 pieces before he could even leave. It doesn't make sense.
Very well.
And honestly, like Tasha said, time is not on our side.
Well, in that case, all of us are from different places and times, even, it seems. I don't know about the rest of you. When we left Neverwinter and went to the other side, I saw something. I saw, more specifically, some ones. Did you?
You're talking to
Yes.
the group, right? Yeah, okay.
To the group, yeah.
Mhm.
I did.
I saw many a thing on our journey. Many people that I had seen and spent much of my time with. People I've cared about, people I knew, people I shared many adventures
Spared.
with.
And spared.
And spared. Some I didn't.
Yes, friends from a different life. Hmm.
Well, I'm assuming that you also saw him, then. Vecna.
Yes.
Was that the
What-
dark and scary, spooky guy?
He was
What
the
do you
one
mean?
you didn't know, most likely.
Then yes, I did see something that I did not know.
Yes, it could not be mistaken.
I don't think that we saw that on accident. If we need to beat a clock, better to have 5 clocks ticking at once. Perhaps we saw those people because they could be of help to us. You have talked about places that you've been looking at Aroviel that were not of our plane. Obviously, Edmund, you talk very much about the places that you've been and things that you've possibly done in those places.
I absolutely did. Defeated Oro. Ended the endless winter.
Yes, those things.
Saved the 10 towns.
Yes, you saved 10 places.
Illustrial
One place
waves,
called the 10 towns.
Illustrial waves her hand and she says, I think now what we need to do is prepare for the journeys. You should all rest. You can use my sanctum, and please make yourselves at home. We will discuss exactly the best plan of action. Is that right? And Mordenkainen nods. He says, give me some time. I'll try to figure out what's best. And rest. You're going to need it.
Thank you. Lady Tasha, is there anything that I can be of service to you for before I rest?
Perhaps just help me to my quarters.
Of course. I
You'll
go
take her
over
and yeah.
help her. Yeah.
You help her leave. You maybe put one arm over your shoulder
Yeah.
and just make sure she doesn't fall. You guide her out of the room. It's a vast sanctum, by the way. It's kind of like her own version of a Mordenkainen's mansion. She'll explain to the rest of the group in general as you head off, though, that this place is safe and secure. This is in a pocket dimension. Nobody can get here. This is her private sort of like, place of solitude, and that you'll be safe here for now. However,
go
go ahead. No, go ahead. You go.
I was just saying, as we're dispersing, Quentin's like leading Tasha away. Bear's like replaying what Quentin said in his head, just processing. He doesn't have the highest intelligence, and he says, "Wait, 5 clocks." And then he looks around. He counts. He counts again. He's like,
Oh no.
Navi, he meant 4 clocks, right? Yeah, I think I'm remembering wrong. He must have said 4. He must have said 4 clocks. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Please.
And then continues to walk away to the resting spot.
Yeah.
Bear doesn't have object permanence.
No.
He's a simple fella, you know?
Well,
Little
you know,
known.
Bear, I mean, there are 5 of you, and I know you and Dobby seem to be a package deal most of the time, but maybe that idea of having to separate from Dobby is becoming more real right now.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. So at this point, I will let you take a rest. We can do our rest and everything later because you're going to be leveling up at the end of this adventure. But before we close out, I do want to have one more role-playing scene. So at this point, Quentin, you help Tasha up to her room. And in private now, you can talk. And she will take the form of Zybilna just because it's what you've seen her in as more often. So once she closes the door, she will then revert back to her form. You can see her crown that goes up atop her head. Her dress and clothing changes. Even her demeanor changes. She gains a little bit of strength as well. And she sits down at a table in her rather lavish room that she is using from Illustrial.
Your Grace.
Quentin. She grabs you by the cheeks. And she says, I'm so glad that you're okay. She she motions for you to sit down.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be okay, and that you're okay as well.
I was concerned, she says, always with this tone in her voice of just experience. And she says, we're going to discuss where all of your friends should go. We've been thinking about this and how the 3 of us would split it up if we had to go ourselves, but perhaps this is the best blessing that you showed back up. I don't know that I have the strength to defeat any of Vecna or Cass's forces in my current state.
It was a noble thing that you did, giving of yourself in that way.
Thank you. But I know where you must go.
I have a feeling I do as well.
Unfortunately, that's where one of the rod pieces is.
I
promise you that I did not know this before sending them there.
I know. I know you wouldn't have done that. You have always been honest and true with me. I saw them, Rowan and Siggy. I don't know how to get there, but I know where I must go. Can you get me there?
Illustrial can.
Very well. I will go post haste.
Now I must rest. And you exit the room?
Yeah. I just kind of hold her hand and just use my last spell slot to just cast Cure Wounds, knowing it's not really going to do anything, but hoping that it will give a moment of soothe to her.
Sure. A little invigoration.
Yeah.
So she lets you leave. The rest of the group, you rest in the quote-unquote morning. Eldon is the only other NPC with you right now, and he's sleeping the night away. But the rest of you gather in the parlor yet again for another meeting. Illustrial casts a spell, and you can see a shimmering map of what looks like different continents, but she explains to you this is actually something called a multiverse. There are several key locations, and they're glowing faintly. You can see them. She says, if we divide, we can cover as much ground as possible. 5 ticking clocks, am I correct? She points to Quentin. And Bear.
Yes.
5 clocks.
Five?
Mordenkainen says, we think we know the best way to approach this. Tasha says that perhaps Quentin it'd be best that you travel to Kryn. Are you familiar with this world?
I am. I have
It's a
never been
world-
myself. but
It's a world
yes.
forged by eternal battle. The forces of good and evil, like most realms. You're to